because they're exposed to a lot of things on social media. Now we are advanced and we can't do away with social media or internet, and so they search for a lot of things and people tell them a lot of things, so they don't know how to distinguish the right from the wrong, so they end up maybe choosing the wrong things, and that is why we may have a lot of young people finding themselves in troubles. For instance, when it comes to something like cyberbullying, or when it comes to child or adolescent pornography, you find a lot of young girls exposed to some of these things because they have the gadgets. They don't know how well to use them because they don't have adequate information or education on how to go about some of these things. So if they find themselves in a space and find someone who appears to be so lovely to them, sometimes it appears like that. People who want to bully you want to get your attention first, then they give you whatever they want to give you. So young people or adolescent girls find themselves in corners like this, and then they may end up meeting the person they found online or accepting whatever things the person sends to them. And so if it even translates into the physical world, from the virtual to the physical, and that is even something that's contributing to when it comes to teenage pregnancy, when it comes to violence against women and girls and all of that. I think that adolescents are exposed to all of these things because of the information they are getting and the ones they are not getting, and for the fact that they are exposed to a lot of bad people.
Right. Kad, what are your views to? Do you think the challenges that that's confronting us now used to confront us when, I mean, way younger, the past and the present? What are your views?
I think young girls now are exposed to more emotional and psychological issues as compared to our time when we're kids. They're not that much grown, but then if you compare when we're growing up to this time, they are more exposed to the emotional and psychological issues. Through our visitations to a lot of communities, you can see that in as much as there are financial issues at home and broken homes and all that, the little girls are confronted with a lot of emotional issues and they have no one to talk to about. So sometimes when you come in front of it and you try to get down to their level and then engage them, then you realize the questions they begin to ask you. Then you know that it's no longer about coming from a broken home or the financial stability, whether the person is in school. It's now about how they cope with themselves, how they keep comparing themselves to other families, other young girls out there, what they see on social media, what their friends are telling them. Yeah.
Right, Kad. What are the some of the most common questions that these teenage girls ask you that you find weird or you think interesting that we should know, you should share?
Okay, the first time we went to Tamale. It was this remote village in Tamale, and one of the girls approached me and she said, "Haji, I want one of your teeth." And I just started laughing, and I told her, "Okay, I'll take it off for you, but when we are done." And she said, "Okay." And she said, "Oh, I want to be like you when I grow up." And I said, "Do you know who I am? Like, do you know where I come from?" And she said, "No, but I just want to be like you." And I said, "Okay." We got to play Ampe, we played Owari. In fact, we had to sit on the ground with the kids and everything. You know, most of the time, one of the challenges when mentors go out to the field, they behave to be prim and proper, permit me to say. Like, they are so perfect, they've got everything together, but it's not so. You need the girls to also see you as a little bit fragile, someone they can also talk to and approach.
Someone who is human, maybe.
Exactly.
That you have the same wants, you have the same deficiencies that they have as well.
Exactly. And some of these kids, you just need an icebreaker. Some of these kids, I would say they've built a strong wall around them, and it's very difficult for you to penetrate, yes. But then at the end of the day, these kids, some of them can create the coolest icebreakers for you, and they make your work really easy. There was one time we went to Jayo. It's around East Legon. You'll be surprised, it's in the school over there. And one of the young girls said she wanted my necklace. And I was trying so hard to get to her because we were trying to introduce volleyball and basketball for the girls. The guys already have their football and everything. And the girls were not involved in the sports. So I just took it off and I gave it to her. And I told her that she should join us in the football. And actually, with those pictures, UNICEF was around and they captured a lot of those pictures and they used it for International Girl Child Day. And we're just so proud of that effort. You get it. So I don't think when we are visiting the fields, we should dress up, or we should just go down to their level, and it makes them easy for them to talk to you. She said, please, what school did you go to? She started asking me questions about the school I attended. She wanted to go to the school I attended, and everything. And my colleagues that were there, the females also, they all got involved. So we had one child to a mentor, and we started talking to them. And believe me, she said she wants to braid her hair. Her parents are not allowing her to braid her hair. And then she has this guy that likes it, and the guy said he would braid, like give her money to braid her hair.
How old is this?
She's 13.
13.
13. She has a boyfriend. At the time we didn't have that. Or did you?
I didn't. At 13, no.
Yes. But, so you see, the social...
So times are changing now.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I wouldn't be bold enough to say that to any elder.
But now it's easier. Okay, well, how about the media's influence? Both traditional media, online media, and even social media, all these funny videos and stuff going around. And is it helping or is making it worse?
I would say when it comes to social media, it's a double-edged sword. The social media can create the positive impression you would want, and it can also create a negative one you wouldn't want your child to be exposed to. And we see all sorts of things out there when ladies, some of our ladies are half naked, and then they portray all their wealth on social media for you to see. The thing is, they don't tell you how they got there. They don't tell you what they had to sacrifice to get there. You get it. But then nowadays, I'm really impressed by social media, because when you go to the right side of social media, you come across so much information. People who are out there are telling their stories, what they had to go through. And these people can be mentors. I myself find myself watching a lot of these videos, and it has really helped me when it comes to interacting with the young girls, because everyone's story is somehow, another version is out there. So it informs you. Having a background in psychology really has helped. So initially our team, we were advised to take online psychology courses, because when it comes to the emotional and mental well-being of these kids, it's not something you can do try and error on. And when you realize it's above you, then you talk to the child. The child has to accept to actually see a professional. And we have these professionals that give a lot, like pro bono, like free consultations. But the issue is the parents. Hey, how can you tell me my child has emotional mental issues? There's no madness in my family. You get that trend. Parents are not willing to accept that her child is emotionally traumatized somehow.
Right, but we are coming from a culture where our first role models are supposed to be our parents.
Yes.
In your line of work and working with these teenagers, do you find a lot of parental influence? Do they share their stories, that they talk to their parents? And if not, how do we bridge the gap? Because you lot are in the field and you know how to get to these girls more than anybody else. Yes, Mavis, you can speak.
Yes, and so with some of the community engagements that we've had, even the questions that the girls would ask you would make you ask yourself that, where are the parents? So we were in one community in Choco, and then after we finished mentoring and like talking to the girls, so there was a one-on-one session where you talk about career, you talk about reproductive health, whatever questions you have, you would ask. And then after we finished, the parents were like, thank you very much. These are the things our children need. So we're asking, so you know your children need these things, why don't you give it to them? Because if your child starts menstruation, you don't expect another person to come out from outside to teach the child how to, excuse me to say, put on a pad or a sanitary towel. Some of the girls don't even know how to use some of these things. And then they'll ask you, so my mother isn't taking care of me, or because I'm going to school, my mother is not in support of it, I'm not helping her with the things she's selling, but a guy is willing to help me, should I accept it? These are some of the things they may ask you. So it tells you that the parents are not even communicating with their children to that extent of even getting some of this information. We always say that if you have that communication with your child, they are able to tell you a lot of things. Whatever happens in a day, they are likely to let you know. But because they don't have these conversations, every time it is go and do this, it is instruction and obedience. And so there's nothing like a friendly relationship that will open the page, or that will create the avenue for them to ask questions when it comes to even how to protect themselves from teenage pregnancies and all of that. That is why from 2016 to 2020 only, we have about 6,000 teenage pregnancies here in Ghana. And then it tells you that a lot of adolescents are not well informed, and that is why their peers will tell them something like, if you have sex with your boyfriend, you stop feeling pains when you're having your menstruation. Things like this, people are listening because they don't have the right information. They don't know what is right for them. And so the moment they trust their friends or they trust certain people around them and they tell them, then they are good to go. They take it like that because they don't know the right things to do. And so I think that if parents were to be friends with their young girls, they'll be able to know some of this and provide the adequate information that they need to make the right choices.
Right. Okay. Now let's talk about alternatives to this. What are some of the alternatives that our teenage girls should look out for, or is there a program that's empowering them? What's the way forward?
Okay. You can. Okay, so when it comes to the alternatives, they are what we are doing now, the mentorship for them. Now, you see, at first, we have well-grown women going into the field to advise the young girls as to what to do. You see a minister. Yes, all those things are needed. But they need someone who is rightly above them. So if I see a minister and I'm in class 6, and you tell me that a minister is advising me, a female minister is telling me what to do, it's so far off in the future. Like, I cannot relate to that person. So it is very important for us to get, even those in secondary schools, those in universities, train them on mentorship. That way, this trend is very familiar to them. And we even tend to understand them more than the older ones. You get it? So getting these young girls to mentor, you go to your secondary school and you can even decide to undertake this project. Look for about 3 girls that are really good, top of the class. I don't mean academically, but are also emotionally and mentally available. You take them and see these young girls. They talk to them. Some of them are interested in dancing, and if you don't pretend to dance, we had a dance off, and I'm a terrible dancer.
But you had to do it.
Yes, and the kids were laughing. They were actually laughing at me, and I felt bad, but they taught me how to dance. I learned how to dance.
But you were able to break the barrier. That's the most important thing.
So these alternative ways are the best. And to add to what my colleague said, you know, parents now have to, financially, they have to take care of the home. They do not actually have time for certain needs of the kids. So if we are stakeholders, we've been through it, maybe ours is not as worse as theirs, but then, in fact, we can do something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what if people are watching and want to be role models to young girls? Is there a number, is there an organization to follow up on?
Okay.
Trust me, there are lots of people who want to be role models, but maybe they do not have, you know.
So I think that with Curious Minds, before I even come to that, with providing some of the alternatives, young people can join things like Curious Minds or be partaking in extracurricular activities because they don't have some other things they do. They think they have enough time they can engage or indulge in things that are even unhealthy. That is why we can record 600,000 teenage pregnancies. But you can also contact us on Curious Minds on Facebook, Curious Minds-Ghana, on Twitter at CM Ghana or at K Obenshire, and then on Instagram too, we are there. So people who may want to be stakeholders or people who may want to partner to be role models for such girls, we are available, and we have a lot of projects that we undertake. And so in various places like Tamale, like in Accra, in Central Region. And so if you get in touch with us in any of our projects, you would get a chance to get in touch with the girls, then you can.
Sure, thank you, Mavis. That's from Curious Minds. And then you can.
Yes, actually GPC has, it's not official, but we have a philanthropy aspect. That's how come we are able to manage projects like GBC, UNICEF, maternal health and adolescents. So all you have to do is, we've worked with a lot of NGOs that are willing to come up. For example, Star Ghana is also doing the same thing. So all you have to do is, if you don't have access to any of the social medias, write a letter, drop it off at the GBC reception, and the letter will come to us and would know how to fix you in with an NGO that can
right. Thank you, ladies. And before we go, where do we find you on social media? Quick for people who might want to do follow-ups.
So for me, Mavis Nakole Ayi on Facebook, on Instagram, Nakole, and then on Twitter at Mavis Ayi. So
got you, Khadija.
Okay, so I'm Amisise on Amisise 12 on Twitter. Then I'm also Amisise, just Amisise on Facebook.
Right.
And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, ladies. We're wishing you good luck and thank you for all the good job.
I would want you to join us one time.
I would gladly do so. I actually do some. Around the Jamestown area.
Oh, okay.
I read to some of the kids there. So yeah.
Wow.
We look forward to it.
Yes, thank you, ladies, for coming on. And so we've been spending time with these brilliant women. Mavis Nakole Ayi, a presenter of Gems of Our Time and also a member of Curious Minds, and Khadija Sisi, a multi-skilled broadcaster with GBC, and we've been talking alternative mentorship for teenage girls. That's the hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back. And so the rest of the GTV Breakfast gang has joined me on the yellow couch.
See, Kafi was putting on his shoes.
Kafi was putting on his shoes because he took his shoes off.
My shoes are on now. Bring me my hat, my cap.
Kafi is a handful, people.
I'm just quiet.
Righties. And so, what are your thoughts about today's show?
You have a lovely red dress. Red is my color.
When in doubt.
Wear red. Thank you.
Wearing, is it nude and black?
Nude.
This is a white woman's
You're
nude,
getting
though.
it.
Black nude is not this color, but we take it.
It's the people who named it, so let's give it to them.
Right. And so we've had lots of conversations. I'm particularly happy that we got results. Our guys on the ground. Hey, shout outs to the whole production team and everybody. Anaglati and his team on the ground. I mean, we get results today. No, in fact.
Have you seen the people sending messages and saying, keep an eye, come to this area, keep an eye, come to this area? I'm like.
And then whilst you were on, you also called out, well, previously we called out UPSA for their quarterly.
Yeah,
we didn't. The report called them out. So if you say we call, as if GBC calls them, we don't call people out.
Yeah, and so we are getting results. They sent that they had sent it. Yeah, so.
I also go to GBC and find out whether our third quarter one has gone. And yes, if we are reading reports of people being called out, I'll go and do that. So I'll go and do that. I'll go and check and I'll give you feedback tomorrow. I want to say happy birthday to, he's called Asamoah Kokoti. Yesterday was his birthday.
Asamoah what? No, like I didn't. Asamoah what?
Kokoti.
Okay, right, sure. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
And this is the one calling you the handful.
Yeah.
I've given up on both of you.
She's a small handful. I'm a big handful. Yeah. So happy birthday to you, bro. Yeah.
I wouldn't even.
I think you're going to sing. Okay, cool. And then we had a conversation on light the world with love.
Okay.
I like
that. I like that. 25 things to do. So I'm going to sign up, lighttheworld.org, and then go and see what the little tips are.
The 25.
The singing is not bad, calling an old friend. Those things are good.
Yeah.
Good. Who's your oldest friend?
Sonia.
Okay. Are you in touch with
Sonia Latte. Mrs. Latte, good morning.
Are you in touch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm godmother to her 3 kids.
Okay. How about you?
Good morning.
Oldest friend?
Popo the Popo.
Okay. Popo the Popo.
Yeah.
All
right. We've been friends since senior high. Yeah, we've been friends for a while.
For real. Okay.
So, guys, we've had a great day. The hashtag to follow is GTV on all our social GTV Breakfast on all our social media handles. We are always streaming live on Facebook and YouTube from 6 a.m. when we are airborne to 9:30 a.m. when we go off a Monday to Friday. Anything you guys want to add?
Yes. You like coffee?
Yes, black.
I'm going to get you some coffee.
Thank you, Kafi.
This is coffee.
Black coffee.
Yes.
I've had coffee.
Right, guys. And so thank you for staying with us. Catch us again tomorrow at 6 a.m. when we are airborne. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. Bye.
My oldest friend.
Sema hiti mi bebe, sema hiti mi bebe. Sema hiti mi bebe, sema hiti mi bebe. Sema hiti mi bebe, sema hiti mi bebe. Sema hiti mi bebe, sema hiti mi bebe.